Hello. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven aka Storm and we are back for some more of the Elder Scrolls Online as Reewish, the Mighty Battle Lizard. If audio is actually coming through, I don't actually know that it is. I'm trying to check right now. I think it is. Joe, you there?
I think it is.
Okay. Go ahead and talk to this person, turn this quest in real quick.
Have you found any ciphers or strange grimoires in your travels, stranger? There are tomes missing from our collection and several ciphers as well. If you come across them in your travels, bring them back. I would be grateful.
I found Cypher, Thelek's dead. She had a letter that mentioned you.
Laxalt is dead? That is unfortunate. She was a promising cipher. I looked forward to many profitable discourses with her, but Apocrypha holds many dangers for mortals. What kind of situation could she have gotten herself into?
The letter was only signed A, but I found this strange book with her.
Why, this is the first volume of the Numinous Grimoire. It's one of the tomes that went missing from our collection. A dangerous book of forbidden knowledge. It destroys the mind of any mortal who reads it. I'd better take that.
Very well, here you go.
This is troubling. Laxalt should have known better than to meddle with a Numinous Grimoire. I must look into this. Thank you for bringing back this book, and the news of Cypher Laxalt's fate. Here, a reward for your trouble.
Yeah, it brings up an interesting question. What happens when somebody dies in a Daedric realm? Do they stay in that Daedric realm forever as like a spirit, or... I don't know. Because sometimes when people die, they go to the Daedric realm of the person that they worship, but, like, are they, like, do they have a physical body? Are they just ghosts? I don't really know. Elder Scrolls really hasn't explored afterlives all that much, to be honest. I mean, yeah, we've seen Sovereign Guard, and we've seen the Far Shores, but there's no, like, full explanation. Maybe Elder Scrolls 6 will give us more. Alright, it's time to follow on with the next companion quest, and here we have Xander.
I have no idea where in Orbis to look for my old colleague Martina, but I know she was working with a Daedric consultant, a creature named Tim. If we can summon Tim, we can find Martina.
And we're here to find a book to summon this Tim?
Indubitably. I knew I was right about you. Now, an esteemed elder within the ciphers once summoned forth this Daedra. If we can find the notes from this elder, you and I can summon Tim and engage in parley.
How do we find one book in all of this?
You've never been to the Library of Dusk, I take it. Or the forbidden section of Gwillem University. Dedicated scholars must develop their own search magics. I'll begin the incantation. Just be ready for anything. Apocrypha is full of surprises.
Hey, got it.
Incantus eruditum. Abyssal sea, hear my call. Find the secrets beneath this scroll. The rune form is complete. Follow where it leads. Aha! The book we need is in that pile. There. A tome shell has the text. Get after it. The chase is on.
I have to admit, tome shells are a little creepy, but they're also kind of cute, too. Look at the little thing flying away with a book. I mean, look at it. It's like a hermit crab, but with a book. Oh, it's kind of cute. Okay.
Excellent work.
Now we will talk to a Xander.
Ha! That was bracing. Pity the tome will smell like transliminal parasite now. Let's see what it says.
Don't be so mean to the little thing. Here you go, one book.
Here's the ritual to summon Tim. Easy enough, just a question of the appropriate summoning materials. We'll need expunged tome dust, the talon of a seeker, and black ichor from the spoomy pools of Apocrypha.
Where can we find the ritual materials?
Let me mark your map. Seekers tend the flora of the region. Their talons often break off in the resin. And there should be plenty of tome dust scraped from parchment in the cipher's midden expungatory. Try to get some from a Daedric incantation.
What about the Ichor?
I'll procure that, worry not. Don't want you to think I'm taking advantage of your assistance. Once you have the dust and talon, we'll meet back up at the ritual site I've marked on your map. What do you say?
Get the talon and the tome dust and meet you at the site. Got it. See you there.
The tome dust should be found in the cipher's midden expungatory, while seekers tend to congregate around those resin plants to the southwest. Easy enough, and soon we'll be talking to Tim.
You seem familiar with Apocrypha.
Well, I should hope so. I've been coming here for years. Fascinating place. You can learn the ways of the Arcanist back home, of course. But to truly understand the forces of fate, tides and the abyssal sea, there's nowhere else like it.
Where is home? Back on Tamriel?
Oh, here and there, you know. You've seen one post-feudal city-state, you've seen them all, am I right? My family hails from Hammerfell. Born and raised in tall Papa's shadow.
Do you visit them much?
I'm no youngster, obviously. My parents now dwell within Aetherius, and the rest of the family politely pretends I don't exist. Best for all involved. Now then, we have a Daedra to summon. Knowledge to gain.
Right, better get to it.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, welcome to the party. Although we're currently looking for book dust at the moment, so I don't know how much of a party that would be.
Book dust.
Yes, book dust.
Okay.
Remember, we're in the We are in the library of Mora, so there's all kinds of weird stuff here.
Oops.
Alright, now we need to go find a Seeker Talon. You know what made me sad, Joe? I won't be able to use the trident until 3rd level because you have to be proficient to use it with the optional, the optional feat that turns it into a monk weapon requires you to be proficient with it. So.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of sad because Monk doesn't get proficiency with any of the weapons that you can turn into one, so it's kind of more of like, okay, you're a race that has a racial ability that gives it a weapon. Okay, well then you can turn that into a monastic weapon.
Yeah, that's about it.
Which is fine if you're a half elf or an elf or a dwarf. Unfortunately, Ganassi don't have racial weapons. Actually, to be fair, Ganassi don't get most of the things that make them unique in other versions of D&D and Pathfinder, where they could actually summon elementals of their same type once a day.
Begone! My fate line is my own. Your life is mine.
Oh, there's a Xander.
Did you hear? Never mind. Welcome. This should be most illuminating. Ah, my new collaborator. Good to see you again. By Mora's eyes, these frayed fates are becoming increasingly annoying. I look forward to putting them to bed, as it were. Do you have the items we need to summon our Daedric consultant?
I've got the Tome Dust and Talon right here.
Peerless work. Let's see. Here's the Ichor. Unpleasant to gather, but I've done worse in my day. Now then, I'll light the fonts and begin the incantation. As we go, I'll need you to offer up the Tome Dust, Talon, and Ichor. In that order.
Then you'll ask the Daedra about your partner.
Just so. With any luck, this Tem can tell us where the whims of fate have led Martina. If this doesn't work, well, I'm sure I'll think of something. But let's hope it works, eh? Onward!
Ready when you are. Where's the demonic chicken? There he is.
Summon Tem, the omen of destiny. Come before us!
There is something. Ask your questions, make your offerings.
I offer the dust of an ancient spell. I seek the location of my former colleague, Martina Abor.
Tem's eyes have seen you, Asander Alcibiades. You search for one who does not wish to be found.
Recalcitrant, are we? We offer the talon of a seeker. I need Martina to correct an error. Where are they?
Whoops, I went to the wrong one again. I keep doing that.
You tamper with fate, mortal. Tem sees a darkness approaching. One you have unmoored.
Daedra, I have called, and you must answer. With Ichor as payment, I command you. Where can I find Martina Abor?
I shall answer, but not to you, Arcanist. Tem will speak with the one who made the offerings.
The audacity of that creature!
The Lion, the Witch, the audacity of that bitch.
Tem Time sees you mortal. Adventures, triumphs that have happened, or may happen, or may never happen. Speak, and Tem will tell you what you wish to know.
Why didn't you want to talk to Xander?
The choices of Xander Alcibiades hang heavy about him, reeking from stains on his hands and his soul. Also, he speaks with a distinct lack of respect for Tem, the omen of destiny.
Right, so where can we find Martina Abor?
Martina Abor, Arcanist of the Abyssal Sea and Illuminatus of the Threads of Fate, retreated to their sanctum 920 days ago. Seek them within the subrealm known as the Underweave, at a place called the Heart. But beware, mortal.
Beware of what?
The Arcanist you travel with sought to view the path unwalked, but failed to see where those paths led. In his hubris, he has allowed a thing that should not be, to be.
Thanks, Tim.
Questions asked and answered.
Reminds me I should
Farewell,
probably do
mortals.
something before it goes off in the middle of my stream again.
Things being equal, that went rather well. It seems we're off to the Underweave. Oh, exciting!
Okay.
The Underweave is a powerful nexus of fated potential in Chroma Incognito. Terribly powerful and terribly dangerous. Sounds just like Martina to set up a lab there. Onward and upward!
You're not worried about Tim's warning?
Am I? No, not particularly. Daedra are strange beasts, you know. Their concept of mortality, time, and danger are very different from our own. Clearly, there have been some unintended consequences, but nothing the two of us can't handle.
Why are you and Martina no longer working together?
We were excellent collaborators. Together we gathered power from across the Daedric realms. But in the end, she had very different goals than I do. If nothing else, damn it, I want to have some fun. Ha!
Do you think Martina will be willing to help you?
Yes, of that I have no doubt. Martina is a consummate professional. Just don't get her started on the transliminal properties of exogenic materials or the writings of Deno Gorath, the Dread Archivist. We'll be there all day.
Why did Martina study the Underweave and you didn't?
You must understand, I have been studying arcane ephemera for decades now. The Underweave is just so obvious.
Again?
And I
Really?
try very hard not to be boring. Plus, it's extremely dangerous in there. Fate shifts like the tides of the abyssal sea.
So you didn't want to study because it's dangerous?
A thing can be both dangerous and boring. The universe contains multitudes. I truly believed I would be able to master fate itself without entering its walls. Vexing to have been proven wrong.
Alright, let's go to the Underweave. We have some other chores to do while we're there. Sky Shard to pick up, a group event to do, a quest to complete. Part of the reason why we're getting it done now, so. I need to check that. Hold on just a second. No, nothing important.
No, no, no!
Talk
Master
to
of
Oogle.
God, have mercy. You've been sent to capture her.
Or
It was an
Ogle?
honest
I'm not
mistake.
trying to
I'm
pronounce it.
working to get Hermaeus Mora's fated
Ogle?
glyphic back. I promise.
Perhaps it's O-G-L-E.
I think that's awful.
Okay. It's hard to tell when the Daedra stop talking, because I have to have the volume off. Otherwise it feeds back through my PlayStation controller. It's hard to tell when they stop talking. What are you talking about? I'm not here to imprison you.
Oh, fathomless prince, that's a relief. To think I let myself be spooked by a mere mortal. Sorry. You see, I may have accidentally sent a prized possession of my masters-to-be unwoven. I don't suppose you'd help poor Ogle?
What sort of help do you
The
need?
forges of Underweave are a dangerous place. Ogle was made for watching and studying, not fighting. But you seem resilient. Help me find my master's faded glyphic, and I'll be sure to make it worth your while. Wonderful. My master's treasure was mistakenly marked for unweaving, so we must hurry and find it before it's destroyed. My watchling's sight should help you navigate Underweave. The entrance is close by. You can take the lead. You can call me Ogle. I'm a watchling in service to Hermaeus Mora. I aid in the designation, or disintegration, of failed fates. It's a coveted role, I might add, and one that I don't wish to risk losing. A faded glyphic is the physical manifestation of a potential fate. A stone that holds a transcription of a possible future. And they are a powerful and precious source of knowledge. This particular glyphic is one of my master's favorites.
Is everyone's fate etched into a glyphic?
No. Most fates
Wow,
don't rise to this level of importance.
Okay,
Only
that's a
potent
surprise.
fates, those with the chance to
Normally,
alter
I
the very
dug in
course of the
first pretty
planes,
much the
can
entire
be found
time,
etched
so-
into these glyphics. This makes every fated
Okay.
glyphic a powerful and coveted object.
Hold on.
What could you tell me about the Underweave?
Fated glyphics whose futures do not come to pass can latch onto our own reality and cause havoc. These intrusions are, well, wasteful. Underweave is the place where these failed fates are unwoven, recycled.
Okay.
Over here, mortal. You won't get far without my boon to guide you through Underweave. You should be able to see a magical trace of my master's faded glyphic. We must find it before it's unwoven.
Better luck next time. Oh, wait.
Yeah, I made the mistake of listening to the Encanto song this morning because they got it in my head, stuck in my head last night.
What song?
The Encanto, the Welcome to the Family song.
I wouldn't know. Never seen the film.
I haven't either, but the song, I've heard the song a couple of times. It gets stuck in my head.
Oh.
The glyphic assemblage. This is where faded glyphics are collected and judged by watchlings such as myself. Try to avoid eye contact as we continue through the underworld. Not all its attendants are polite as I am. No, this can't be right. There are so many paths. Why are there so many paths? We're doomed.
Ogle is freaking
I'm
out.
doomed. We can't possibly find my master's glyphic now. Stupid Ogle, stupid! Master keeps the most dangerous fates down here. Of course it would be difficult to navigate. Numerous paths, endless options. This was a hopeless endeavor from the start. I'm a useless watcher who deserves to be unwoven.
Why is it
The
hopeless?
master's faded glyphic could be anywhere. It may have even been fed into one of the Nemesis looms already. This is it for me, mortal. Cherish the moments you shared with Ogle, because I am not long for this plane.
Is there really no hope of finding it
The
now?
Nemesis looms unmake everything. By now, the glyphic's been reduced to unwoven strands, sputtering fragments of a former fate. I just know it. There are too many paths to follow. I need a moment to think, mortal. This is all too much.
Think fast then.
It's no use. I'm done for. Wait, what is that?
Well, well, well. It looks like an old friend has arrived to help us.
I'm actually happy to see you, meddler. My work in the streams has come to fruition. But never mind that, there's more work ahead. Over here, if you please.
Do you recognize Thaddeus Cosma, Joe, the time-traveling weirdo from Western Skyrim?
Yeah.
And we're like, are you from the future? And he's like, and I must away!
We meet again, just as I intended. Not because of your bumbling about the plains. You're just in time to help me. I know where the fated glyphic is, so there's no need for that silly boon. Besides, you look ridiculous.
It's good to see you again, Thaddeus. You know about the fated glyphic?
Forces beyond your understanding ordained that I must come into possession of this glyphic. Since Hermaeus Mora rarely lets such a valuable object leave his personal collection, I simply charmed the watchling into misplacing it.
You charmed Ogle into sending the glyphic to be unwoven?
Yes, I deceived the watchling. How morally gray of me. Listen closely. You need me to locate the glyphic for your Daedric friend. However, the Nemesis looms make my presence here tenuous.
That's not what I wanted to...
If you can shut them off, you'll help everyone.
Fine, I'll shut down the Nemesis looms. What are they?
Good! You're always one for action, aren't you? The Nemesis looms are powerful devices that unweave bits of reality. For example, these failed fates. You'll find them contained in the Nulla factory, just ahead, past the cells. I'll meet you there.
In hindsight, could Thaddeus Cosma be from Elder Scrolls 6? It seems very strange that he shows up again so now in ESO when full production on Elder Scrolls 6 is about to start.
Thaddeus Cosma, a traveler on tides of time and reality. But it really isn't important. That's not to say I'm not important. I am, but that's neither now nor when. All you need to know is that when our paths cross, reality itself may be at stake.
You charmed me?
If it's any consolation, Watchling, you performed your role admirably. Now, to the Nemesis looms. It will take the two of us to disable each loom.
My role? I didn't play any role in... Hey! Get back here!
Ogle is not happy. I mean, neither was Aerox the Mutilator when he got turned into a Daedrat. Kind master, I will lay 100 blackened skulls at your feet. Like, that's not necessary, Aerox. Thank you, though.
There you are. Disable that mechanism, and I'll do the same here. That should deactivate the loom.
There is only one role I play, and it's in service to the Prince of Knowledge. How dare you imply otherwise?
Mora's clerk objects. I can already feel my presence solidifying. Come now, let's shut this one down as well.
The hell is up with...
A clerk? A clerk? What a wild underestimation of my role.
Again? Really?
On the contrary, I couldn't have done this without you. Onwards! The next loom is close by.
That was better than that.
Could be reduced to pitiful strands of moment now. Then what was the point of all this?
Worry not. With the looms disabled, we need only check the Underweave's trash heap. Onwards, Meddler.
You know, he didn't call us meddler last time. He acted like genuinely glad to see us last time, but this time he acted more like we're a nuisance. Maybe this is a version of him that before we met him in Western Skyrim, or after, I don't know.
Give him a fight.
The faded glyphic! It's already been unwoven!
Not ideal, but not unexpected. Meddler, a word, if you please.
Not ideal?
It's unfortunate we couldn't reach the glyphic before its unweaving, but all is not lost. If we work quickly, we should be able to salvage the magics still held within the fractured glyphic. I'll need your assistance once more, of course.
You don't seem to be concerned that the glyphic was destroyed.
I took steps to prepare for this possibility. The benefit of shutting down the Nemesis looms was twofold. It allowed me to maintain a more stable presence in this realm, and it unhindered my spellcasting abilities.
So what's your plan?
We'll take the glyphic's remains to the heart of Underweave. There, I should be able to siphon enough energy to restore it. But be prepared. The heart may be heavily guarded. Bring what's left of the glyphic and meet me there, Meddler.
So the intelligence using rogue, is that the inquisitive rogue?
I would have said that was the Arcane Shopster.
I was just thinking, because, are you familiar with the main plot of Encanto, by any chance? Or, like, the main, like, premise of it?
I've read the synopsis.
Yeah.
But
So, you know, Mirabelle
is
is the only member of their family without magic?
I assume that's her name, but sure.
Yeah. So what I was thinking was, what if there was a family in D&D where all of the family members had a different type of sorcery except for one of the children? And they're just like really smart, so they go off and become like a intelligent-based character, but they can't use magic. So, but I'm trying to think of what classes use intelligence without also using magic.
Let's hurry along then. The heart of
Unfortunately,
Underweave
D&D
can be
kind of
found
binds
to the
intelligence and
south,
magic
the other side
together.
of the courtyard. I'll meet you there. Just wade across the detritus of failed fates and go up the steps. Can't miss it.
Pathfinder at least has the investigator, which is a non-magic class that uses intelligence as its primary stat, which I kind of like. It's like a rogue but intelligent instead of dexterous, or you know what I mean.
First of all, the active Nemesis looms muddied my sight. I had no way to know where the glyphic was. Secondly, there's no use in crying over spilled fates. The sooner we get to the heart, the sooner we can put this all behind us.
Where can we restore this fate glyphic?
It's a simple matter of temporal reversal. With the looms no longer operating, I'll be able to draw on the full power of the Underweave. In fact, do you have any wine you'd like rapidly aged? I kid, of course. Let's get moving.
Here, can you do something with this? Pulls Aerox the Mutilator out of my pocket. Out of my pack.
Well done. Now, out to the courtyard. We'll meet in the heart of Underweave.
Ogle has a bad feeling about this.
Ogle has a bad feeling about this. Oh, we were gonna have to come here anyways, because that's where the quest for Xander was taking us.
Good, you found us. Place the fractured glyphic on the altar. There's not a moment to lose. Almost there. A bit further. Quick! Grab the glyphic before the entropic bubble collapses.
It's back. My master's faded
Bending
glyphic
time
is
really
really
puts
back.
a kink in your neck. Let's reconvene outside Underweave. I'm sure this
Loot
display
there,
of
don't pass it
temporal
up.
magic raised a few alarms.
Yes, yes. Let's leave before the guards come and take Ogle away.
Let's hear it.
I'm not sure if it's Xander.
Not
There
to
we go.
belabor the obvious, but we'll need to be careful here. We should make haste to the heart of the
Again?
Underworld and find Martina's sanctum. Onward and upward!
Dude, I just...
The Fate Weaver key
Really?
is palpitating.
3 times?
Pulling
What the
me.
hell?
Off to the east? Fascinating. Something in Martina's sanctum must be synergizing with the relic. Let's find that laboratory.
Right, to the heart of the Underweave. DD, get out of my laboratory!
Be it. Knock, knock, Martina. All right. Let's get my face unfrayed.
Yeah, there's a bit of a complication to Xander. She dead.
Damn it.
She very, very dead.
Selena. Dead. I had hoped. Why must the most brilliant among us fall to curiosity's blade? Take a look around, if you don't mind. I need a moment. Martina was a zealous note-taker. That may be helpful to our inquiry. No idea what that concoction is. Curious.
I had to step in the magic circle while the ritual is still
Perhaps
active. That's a
you,
brilliant idea.
Might find something on her remains. I wish I could say this was the first time I found an old friend dead, but I cannot. From the spell lattice surrounding them, I believe Martina's research may have followed a similar path to my own. Let's take a look. Martina says here she could somehow scry for the fates frayed from her timeline. Fascinating. She experimented with several different methods, including using her own blood. It's messy,
I do this
dangerous,
4 times?
perhaps effective.
What the hell?
Yes, I believe so. I have some thoughts that need to germinate, and I'd like to dispel this ward. Take care of Martina. Let's retire to my rooms at Cypher's Midden, near the Way Shrine. I'll see you there, my canny colleague.
Alright, Azandra, I'll see you at Cypher's Midden.
I'll see you back at Cypher's Midden, my perspicacious collaborator. Just need to see to Martina here. Research, of course. Always research. Just like in the old days. Martina and I were excellent collaborators. I was the gab, the talker, the trader. But Martina was the silent strength, astute observations after lengthy contemplation.
Why'd you two stop working together?
I'm an arse. It seems wrong to coat the truth in moon sugar standing over Martina's final work. I can be challenging to know and worse to work with. Martina put up with me for the better part of 5 years. Longer than anyone
Oh, how did your
else.
vote go for your stream this week, Joe?
Vote?
Yeah, you put up a vote for your stream for this week.
Oh, I forgot to look. I am dense.
You know what Strega would say if she was here, right?
Yes, I
quite
do.
sure. I think perhaps
I
she
meant
was
to check
trying to
after work,
manipulate
yeah,
fate
and I just
itself.
completely forgot.
But I'd have to examine Martina's notes to fully understand what happened here.
I hope the
Martina
stream
was
wasn't
as
for
nimble-witted
yesterday,
as
because
anyone
otherwise...
I've ever met, and stubborn as the abyssal sea. If she thought they could twist fate itself, nothing would slow them down.
Yeah, if it makes you feel better, I
Changing
just
the
pulled
fate
it up.
line is something
Saturday
Raven
had 0
Mora
votes.
himself can do.
That's good.
I hope I can honor Martina's memory somehow.
Well,
I'll see you
what
back
one?
at Cypher's Midden.
It was Monday at 9:30 Eastern.
Okay, the 2:30, so after lunch. Okay.
Which I actually will be here for because I'm off tomorrow to recover from camp, so.
Fair enough. That's good.
Yeah, it took a couple extra days because I can't even walk across my floor without wobbling because my body is still super weary from camp. So it's like I'm really glad I have those 2 extra days.
Should have been more prepared.
Having said that, I've been trying to build up my stamina and stuff, so. Okay, so if I go into here, I need to figure out where the group event is as well. If I can do it alone, though, is the question. I don't know if there's anyone else in this dungeon right now. I may have to come back and do it off screen later. It's not like it's super important. There's no plot or anything, so.
Me neither.
examine the entire web.
Who's next?
Hoping to grab one of the squirrel pieces today. I want that squirrel. I'm like 11 days away from completing the squirrel if I just get one piece each day, so if I get an extra piece, that'll help speed the process up. I think I found a group event. This enemy is really tough. Got him. Yep, that was the group event. Woo! Okay, now just gotta get the Sky Shard and we can GTFO.
lucky you didn't stumble into a hole in reality, meddler. I know our many-eyed friend wants his glyphic back. Allow me a moment to study it, will you? You really do make an invaluable field assistant, meddler. Even your watchling friend here played his part expertly. Now please, the glyphic. I can't stand to wait any longer.
Here, what can you make of it?
Curious. I've handled my fair share of fated glyphics, but something about this one seems almost familiar. Like a tone, ringing at the edge of my memory. A song, perhaps. A lullaby? How very strange.
Why did you seek out this glyphic?
It's no secret my travels take me far and wide. I go to places far beyond what a simple compass or map might show. And in my travels, I heard an interesting rumor that the Prince of Knowledge had found a special fate. My fate, in fact.
Does glyphic hold your fate?
I believe it does. Whether it's one fate of many or a singular inevitable fate, I won't know until I activate it. Funny, after all this, I find myself hesitating. Give me a moment, meddler. Perhaps take this time to calm your watchling friend.
It's not a good idea to look at your own fate. I wonder why my master is so fond of that particular one. Speaking of fate, you certainly helped me salvage my own. To think I came this close to being tossed into the Nemesis looms.
Thaddeus needs the glyphic. He shouldn't be long.
I wish I could say I enjoyed our adventure together, mortal. However, you and I both know it was far too distressing to be fun. Still, this watchling is certainly grateful for your help. Take this reward.
Well, here goes nothing, Cosma. Thaddeus, you must listen closely. The fate of the plains depends on it.
He's talking to himself.
The rumors were true. Mora really did learn my fate. Don't talk over me. Understand that when the time comes, you must say no. I must say no? What in oblivion am I talking about? In my
Time travel is so
things didn't
weird.
go exactly to plan, but I hope you'll glimpse this causality in enough time to change our fate. It seems the only person who can fix the
In other
Thaddeus
news,
Cosma mess
Waters wet.
is
Cosma.
Thaddeus Cosma. How
See, it's the only person who can fix that Thaddeus Cosma mess is Thaddeus Cosma. How exciting. Why does that sound like someone who's about ready to tangle with the fates of reality and time like a kitten with a ball of yarn? Oh god. The 1940s just stuck themselves into 2020. The Black Plague and Corona have fused. It's Super Rona. Wait, no, sorry, 1920s and... Sorry, my bad. The 1920s and the 2020s have fused. It's Super Rona.
Yeah.
Oh god, a Tyrannosaurus Rex just ate Hitler. That's actually a good thing.
Welcome. I've just been preparing. Pardon the simplicity of my setup here.
And is that? Yes, it is. Captain Jack Sparrow is riding a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Martina's research
Captain
lives
Jack Sparrow
on.
is not a
I
historical
believe
figure.
with further development, I can adapt.
As far as you know, but those movies could be historically accurate.
But let's crawl before we walk.
Uh-huh.
First,
But
we
the
confirm
English wanted to hide it from us, so they hid the
this is
truth.
Even possible.
The British Trading Company didn't want everyone to know that a pirate by the name of Captain Jack Sparrow
it was
betrayed them. East India
East
Company,
India.
sorry, yeah, East India Company.
Thank you.
They had a lot to lose by the truth getting out.
It's time to put my failure behind me. So far, the fates have come to me. with Martina's research, we can scry for one, find it, and shut it down. What do you think of that? This is why you make a good collaborator. Your focus. I place in your hands the Fate Weaver key. Still flawed, unfortunately, but newly modified thanks to Martina's notes. Follow along with me, and we'll seek out a frayed fate. Observe this thaumaturgical quadrant. Gripping the key, activate each of the beacons.
Let us activate the beacons.
A shipwreck? Wait, that must be Fathom's Drift. Superlative! The drift is in the far north of the region. I'll meet you there.
Alright, to Fathom's Depths we go. I'm gonna check something real quick. Okay. Oh, right, it's all the way up there. Okay, that's why we went around and got all the waste shrines last time. Make this go faster.
Ready to ride.
Alright, we may as well pick up this quest while we're here.
You, traveler. I need help. I was swept overboard in a storm and found myself washed up in this terrifying land. What happened? I must find my ship. I must find Nanarel, my father. Are you real or just another spirit?
I'm as real as you are.
I am Landervel, first mate on the opulent Gale. My father, Nanarel, is the ship's captain. We were trapped in a horrible storm. I fell into the churning sea. I was dragged under the waves, blacked out, and awoke nearby in a ship's graveyard.
What do you need?
I need to find my father and my ship. When I last saw him, he was at the wheel, clutching his treasured belongings. A locket, a spyglass, and the ship's logbook. Our ship must have run aground. We need to find him.
I'll help you.
Oh, thank you. I fled from ghosts and Daedra when I came ashore and heard one of them call it Fathom's Drift. I will not leave this place before I track down my father and our ship. Surely he survived the storm.
Tell me about your father.
My father has captained the opulent Gale since I was a boy. He built the ship with his own 2 hands. I may never be the captain he'd hoped I'd be, but I'll never forget how alive I felt knowing he was at the wheel.
Are you sure he can be found in this place?
This place? I don't know where we are. There was a storm and a great wave and my father shouting. Yes, he was shouting at the storm.
You're in Apocrypha, domain of Hermaeus Mora.
Hermaeus Mora? High elves don't deal with Daedra, but he's known among the sailors as Hermes Mora, the Tide King. He carries many names, but he lives deep beneath the waves. Could my father have angered him somehow?
Hey, welcome to Fathom's Deep. We have 3 quests to complete here, in addition to finding the Sky Shard. So, let's get started.
The wrecked ships are ahead through these sea caves. Look for my father's belongings. If we find them, we'll likely find him as well. My father treasured this locket. He wore it on every voyage for good luck. He would never leave it behind. But it is marked with a symbol of Hermes Mora. Never noticed that before.
Easy.
I recognize this. Father's spyglass. But its lens is cracked and useless.
BRB. Awesome, man.
Oh,
There!
we found his
The
father.
opulent Gale. Is my father there?
Not alive.
You brought my son here. I thought I lost him. For that, you have my thanks.
You're his father?
I'm Nanarel, captain of the opulent Gale. My son's been restored to me. We must complete the pact before this gift is taken back.
What pact?
I watched my son swept overboard. He would drown in the storm. I appealed to a greater power, but didn't complete the ritual. We must finish the task, lest he perish again.
What must we do?
You must sacrifice 3 tokens from my past. Logbook, spyglass, and locket at the unquenchable brazier near the entrance to the sea caves to seal the pact. Do this for us.
Very well, we'll do this.
You brought my son here. I thought I lost him. For that, you have my thanks. I'm Nanarel, captain of the opulent.
Okay.
I am alive. I should be dead. I need time to think all this over. Let's gather the items my father's spirit spoke of and go back to the brazier where you found me.
I don't think I'm technically supposed to have done that, but I did. You know what? Sharpa's Knight does not like toast.
And down they go.
There's the Sky Shard. One more belonging to go. There we go. Ha! Made it.
That's my father's handwriting. And someone else's as well. What does it mean?
I'm sorry, I'm really tired already. So I was thinking, Joe, would it be alright if we just did raids today? Raids in the raid in Scarlet and Violet and raids in Sword and Shield? Would you be okay with that? Oh shoot, no, crap. Joe, you there?
cannot believe it. My father traded his life for mine.
Let me tell you all, my friend. Then you can cast the items into the
Oh, okay. I didn't realize you'd gone away.
So I went to
I
the
was
offer.
I was trying to ask while you were gone. Would you be all right if we just did raids today?
I'm okay with that.
Okay. I just didn't want to switch games so many times. I don't know. I'm just really, really tired. Okay, so I gotta talk to the father.
I will tell you everything. Of my relationship to the Daedric Prince. And what I did to save my son.
Tell me about this pact you made to save your son.
The pact was with Hermes Mora, who sleeps with his secrets in the depths. I had learned an incantation to entreat with him from an ancient sailor, and inscribed the summoning into my logbook.
You made a deal with the Daedric Prince?
When I saw my child swept away in the storm, I knew he would perish, and I invoked the pact. Hermes Mora heard my prayers and answered.
At a cost.
At a cost. My son was saved, but I am fated to serve as Hermes Mora's guide in this land of lost souls. You must burn the relics of my past, so I exist only in memory. Sacrifice the spyglass, logbook, and locket in the brazier.
Tell me about these items.
These items represent my past. Place them in the sacred flame to finalize my pact and seal my fate. Should Hermes Mora rescind his offer, Landoville will perish.
Tell me about the spyglass.
With this glass, I beheld Hermes Mora rising from the sea in response to my evocation.
The sight of him shattered the lens.
It nearly shattered my mind. So horrid was his visage.
Tell me about the logbook.
The book invokes the pact I made. I transcribed the spell into it. When I spoke the words aloud, Hermes Mora's writing appeared beneath it, agreeing to the deal.
And we must burn it because...
Burning the book and the other items finalizes my agreement. Unless it is fed to the brazier, there is still a chance Hermes Mora would return my son to the depths and let him drown.
Tell me about the logbook.
Ah, that is a treasured totem of my past life, of my lovely wife and devoted son. It is marked by the hand of Hermes Mora when he agreed to spare my son's life. You've heard what I have to say. Now place the sacrifices into the flame.
Hold on, it's not quite finished yet.
Logbook. Why didn't it burn? I don't understand. How is this possible?
Something wrong?
Hermes Mora has changed the bargain. It now reads, let Nanarel, or the memory of him, become my guide for the drowned dead. The words, or the memory of him, are new. What does this mean?
Hermes Mora means to make good on Naril's bargain one way or another.
You mean to suggest Hermes Mora wants me to forget my own father? Forget our time together?
We're within his domain. Anything is possible here.
Surely I would never... No, I will do it. If it means my father will return to the mortal plane, I will do whatever it takes.
You wish to accept this new offer?
Hermes Mora will trade my memories for my father's life. I would forget him, but he would live. Yes.
I would rather perish than let my son forget me. Let me seal the pact.
Alright, so we have a choice to make. So the first choice is to let Naranel complete his original bargain. He'll become the guide of souls for those that are washed up in Fathom's depths forever, in exchange for his son's life. Or the memories that his son has for his father will be removed from him, and those memories will be allowed to be the guide while his father is returned to life in the mortal realm. However, his son will forever forget his father. So what should we do?
Honestly, I think it might be a mercy to stay in the other realm. You know, keep the memories.
Okay, so we'll give it to Naranel.
I'm unsure how you came to help my son. I'm indebted to you, stranger. Give me the book, so I may finish this.
Are you at peace with remaining this way?
I am. I made my choice the moment my son was swept overboard. Hermes Mora honored his side of the deal. I will honor mine.
Hermes Mora changed his offer.
And I should have a son forget his father? I would rather perish, literally. Let me honor the original promise I made. My son is stubborn, but he offers too much. Give me the logbook.
You should take the book. Complete your bargain.
My son is disappointed, but you respected my wishes, and for that, I am in your debt. Let me offer some small reward for your aid. And know that, should you find yourself in these lands again, my spirit will always be with you. Hear me, Hermes Mora, my liege. Seal our pact for eternity. We rebuke your other offer.
My father. Gone. I have no words. I am grateful for your assistance, traveler. Please, leave me with my grief.
Very well.
Oh, seriously, another one? Nah, fine. Halfway there.
I live. It is my will. Away, you pestering phantom. You're here. Blast these frayed fates. Let's get in there and turn theory into practice, eh? Smooth these things back into the universe.
How do we smooth your fates back into the universe?
First, we enter the drift and find the darn thing. The Fate Weaver key in your able hands will lead us where we need to go. Now, properly attuned, it should allow you to tug on the threads that bind my fate to me.
How about an alternative? We grab a ladder, wait until the old lady's out of the room, and grab that little bird.
We use the Fate Weaver key itself to bind this frayed fate back into the fabric of the universe. I'm not... Well, to be totally honest, I'm not exactly sure what that will look like. But we're armed with the dead friend's knowledge.
One more
see
enemy
it
left.
done.
Please, please be a normal enemy. No tricks.
Into the
Normal enemy, no tricks. Aha! Right, beat him up.
And then the enemy is like, ha, you have fallen for my trap, and they multiply into 10,000 versions of themselves.
Yeah, not unless they do that to me too.
And then they all go Super Saiyan.
Well, seeing as though he's not Saiyan, I don't see how.
Look, anything could happen. It's Dragon Ball.
The threads that bind me to the nearby frayed fate.
What is your wish, mortal? I wish to become a Super Saiyan. Your wish is granted, mortal.
There, a thread. Untie it, and we'll follow the thread to the next, and the next. Ah! Martina's work. My research. It's working. Smashing.
What if someone's ever like woken up in the dead of night and just like, damn, I'm really hungry, and pulls out all 7 Dragon Balls and wishes for like an ice cream sundae?
I mean, that has happened in the movies.
Well, the canonicity of the movie is questionable.
They brought Frieza back to life. No, it's canon. It's canon now. It's in the anime. It's in the show, not the movie. As well, in the show, they go and whip the bad guys with Frieza back to life. Now, what do we do the next 2 wishes? And these 2 kids will burst out and say, "I want ice cream and 100 million Zeddy." It gives him like just drops it on him, and he's just like, and it's like no charge for the no extra charge for the ice.
Up the ramp. I think I see something.
And then they just leg it.
Look there. This distortion is afraid fate. Let's pull this situation into focus.
Off the deck, Ascender. Stop lollygagging, Ascender. I'm tired of all this.
What? A sailor? How odd. I haven't wanted to be a sailor since I was a child.
Bilge rats and stale bread. I'll never make it to first mate.
Such potential. Stronger now.
Twitching tentacles, what is that?
It's you, dummy.
Grow stronger.
Use the key. These rune forms should banish that thing.
We will not be undone.
It worked. Oh, I wasn't sure it would. What we just witnessed. Distressing, horrid, disconcerting. Apologies, cohort. I'm free associating to deal with my emotions.
Are you alright?
Of course, yeah, just processing. Tim, it seems, was telling the truth. Afraid fate has grown in strength somehow. Become adversarial.
What do we do now?
Allow me to take back the Fate Weaver key. I'll need to consider this new information. The introduction of this adversary into the experiment was unforeseen. Let's reconvene in my room at Cypher's Midden.
Sounds good, I'll see you there. Turning to Cypher's Midden.
We meet again, traveler. Have you found another one of our missing ciphers? Or a volume of the numinous grimoire, perhaps? I feared the worst when Nelfin dropped out of sight. Strange things have been going on around here. Seems I was right to be worried. You mentioned a strange book. Was it the Numinous Grimoire, Volume 3?
I found my new flaw for Drizzle Joe. I'm going to post it in the Twitch chat and see what you think about it.
Okay, I'm in the middle of a boss fight, so give
The
me a
Numinous
bit.
Grimoire is dangerous. At a casual glance, it's illegible.
Or should I
As you
say
study it
boss
longer,
rush fight?
its meaning becomes
Boss
clear.
rush fight sounds more
You go
accurate.
mad. Nelfin should have known that. Leave the book with me and I'll put it away. Safely this time. I didn't know Cypher Nelfin well, but she deserved better. I must give this matter my attention. Who would want the Numinous Grimoire, and why? Thank you for bringing back this volume. Here, a small reward for your trouble. A strange tale.
Oh, we still have to go finish Xander's quest. Whoopsie. Fine, it's right here by the way shrine.
Ah, there you are. Come, let's talk. I'm ecstatic. Ebullient, even. Incredible. Somehow, my experiment seems to have created a new, previously unseen mystic phenomenon. One frayed fate consumed the other by means and for reasons unknown. I'd be even happier if it didn't want me dead. Ha!
No, I'm more and more convinced that this man's pillow is a thesaurus and he's absorbing it by osmosis.
Yes. I mean, would I prefer this adversary enjoy a strenuous argument over a pot of tea? Without a doubt. But you have to understand, I believe the Fate Weaver experiment was an abject failure. Indubitably. And mark me well, this discovery would not have been possible without your insights and abettance. We make a superlative research duo, you and I. I haven't had a competent cohort in some time.
Thanks, Xander. So you're going to continue to look into this adversary?
I must. My fate is still frayed, after all. It must be restored, and this dark being dealt with. But now, a question for you. Would you be willing, if you have the time and inclination, to continue our collaboration?
It'll be some time, probably, but sure, let's keep working together on your project.
Together, my new cohort, we began the work of understanding the nature of fate. We put an old friend to rest. And someday soon, we'll repair the key. But for now, accept my promised coin with enthusiastic thanks. Onward and upward! Together, cohort, we will accomplish stupendous things, remarkable things, for research!
Farewell, Xander. Okay. It's about that time, so I'm going to quickly take my break. When I return, I'm going to go ahead and proceed with the next quest that I'm going to do. Like I said, we're trying to do all the side quests before I start running through the main quest line, so we're going to go and do the quest at Kaman Naryun? I'm not sure how to say that. But I'll be back.
Almost there, but not quite.
Okay, I have returned.
Let's see what you're made of.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Tentacles out of the ground. Because of course. Away from me, tentacles. How's your boss fight going, Joe?
It's going.
I've got
So
I got some Fuji apple sparkling water and it's delicious.
I'd rather explore the nastiest delve
Why
than
are all
the
the
nicest
wits so
city.
heavily guarded?
Well,
Let's
well,
go.
well. If it isn't our old friend Asher.
Oh, it's you. Come to tussle with the ne'er-do-wells of the Telvanni Peninsula? Actually, I could use a distraction. This is for official business. You should remember how compensation works.
What would I be a distraction for?
The punishment of Luafan Romavel. She convinced those Kamana
please
Tong
finish the
scoundrels
enemy.
to take
Please
Argonian
finish the
soldiers
enemy.
hostage and
This has been
force
tough
the
enough as it
Ebonheart
is.
Pact to pay a large sum for their release. I'm here to ensure that her plan fails, and she never hatches another. You're a distraction and a secondary measure. We cannot let either Luafan or the soldiers remain in
Okay,
their
I've got a
current
friend.
positions. Free the soldiers and do something to draw out Luafan. Sound an alarm, make noise,
pressed that
but leave the kill to me.
Alright, I'll free the Argonians and help you kill Lilith and Romel.
With you providing a distraction, this writ just got significantly easier. Kimona Rune is just ahead. Are you ready to see what traitorous cretins like Luafan Romavel and the Kamana Tong can do?
Tell me about the target.
Well, aren't you demanding? She's an enterprising member of the Kamana Tong, a group of dark elf lowlifes. They believe in a lot of nonsense. The competitiveness of their smuggling prices, dark elf superiority, the security of Kimona Rune.
If the Corona Tong is keeping soldiers hostage, why does your writ focus on one dark elf?
It was her idea to capture the soldiers and threaten the entire Ebonheart Pact. Of course, she's the one I've been contracted to kill.
Cleared.
Sweet.
Think about it. How
That
would
was
you
hard.
react if one of your allies held your soldiers hostage? That's why I incorporated releasing the prisoners into my plan. Is it a little more work? Yes. But in this instance, it's worth the effort.
You mean you don't know? Why come out here then? Very well. It's a smuggler's den of the usual unsavory dreck. Are you familiar with the Komona Tong? Then you shouldn't be surprised that they took Argonians captive. Captives aside, I expected this writ a while ago. It feels almost like the great houses were waiting for an excuse to send one of us here to Komona Rune. All I've been able to gather is that the prisoners are separated, and probably in different buildings around Komona Rune. They may even be guarded. Try to make as much noise as possible. You are creating a diversion, after all. Surprised, are you? Do you expect to find me in random places? I'm flattered, truly. Or were you looking for me? It would be your turn to play the messenger.
No, what happened after Hawkeshay?
Last I heard, Magnate Fena Darak was still in charge of that little town. I suppose she figured out how to lead without relying on her family's lie. If more people were like her, then I'd have less work.
I saw Nardi recently.
I was right. She is here. I suspected as much. Her presence causes quite the stir. I've grown accustomed to sensing when we're sent to the same area. Do you know of her writ? Does it sound more impressive than mine?
I'm not sure about importance, but her business was at Ald Azara.
With the Telvanni Council? Well, that certainly sounds interesting. If I had the time, I might have gone to see what her methods would be there. But it's better that I left her alone. Dealing with the great houses puts her in a sour mood. You mean you don't know? Why come? Then you shouldn't be. All I've been able to gather is that. Surprised.
Okay, how are things in Valmora?
I do what I can to avoid stepping into Vardenfell these days. That business with Vea really mucked things up. Not that I had anything to do with that. Have you since met up with Naryu? I was right. She... with the Telvanni Council. Think about it. Surprised, are you? Ah, both here of our own volition. Good. I'd hate to have someone else's whims meddling in this affair. I suppose, since we are catching up, have you had more dealings with Naryu, or...
Very interested in Naryu, but, I mean, that's the...
Make a commotion in there.
She is his senior in the Morag Tong, so... Whoops, that was not what I intended to do.
These smooth-skinned fools will regret capturing me.
In the words of that one fish from Nemo, he touched the butt.
Oh, god damn it.
These dung beetles insulted me for the last time. Tied up with trolls.
Where?
I do actually. I forgot. With Sharp as Knight, you have to keep your gear like fine-tuned. If your gear breaks, he gets upset with you about it.
I thought I'd be tied up there for ages.
So nice little conversation going on in the guild chat. And if anyone's looking down on the right side of the screen, you'll see that one of our friends is moving back for the guild. So, speaking of, I forgot to share this out in the various channels today.
Doesn't she know how inconvenient this is? Where is it? Oh, there. That gong. Ring it.
Yay! I got the thing.
She has to come see why it sounded. Ring it, and I'll introduce Luathan to my blades.
Right now we bang the gong.
Intruders? What's going on here?
Finally. I'll meet you outside. Free the prisoners if you haven't already.
End them.
Well, just hop over. Ah, shoot. That's not the way to do that. Okay, well, there is another alternative. Because I'm a sorcerer. And we like to cheat. Why go around when you can just like streak straight across things? That's okay, the Arcanists can do it now too with their little portal ability. No! Drat, I'm gonna have to go all the way back around.
Oh god, you. I hate you.
You know, in hindsight, I was listening earlier to the We Don't Talk About Bruno song again. Bruno actually sounds like he was trying to be helpful to the others, and they misinterpreted as him being creepy.
I mean, I think you need to at least read the synopsis to understand the context. Because...
Well, it's like, in the song, like, they're talking about how he told...
Storm, the actual meaning of the song is completely lost if you don't know the story.
I suppose.
I don't know how that sergeant knew about my involvement. I hoped having you free them would rid me of this inconvenience. Still, despite this unfortunate turn of events, I ended Luafen, and you followed directions well.
I thought you needed me to free them to cause a distraction.
Why can't both be true? I told you what you needed to know, but yes, I hoped the soldiers would know only your face. Still, I promised you a reward. Take it. We should part ways before we attract any more unwanted attention. Now, it's off to Necrom for me. Don't be offended, but I hope I don't see you there. Not for a writ, anyway. You know which organization I belong to and what I do for them. Surely the answer to your question is obvious. I don't know this... Now, why in oblivion are you worried about them? They're soldiers. They know how to fend for themselves and how to find their commanders. I'm sure they'll be fine. We did our part and freed them from the Commander Tong's grasp. The root of the problem has been solved. If they talk about either of us, then this nuisance may become a much larger mess. And as of right now, it's a mess that I do not have to clean.
I mean, mentioning me to the Ebonheart Pact isn't a problem because I'm a member of the Ebonheart Pact. Actually, it would be in their best interest to mention me. Okay, so we'll jump to Journeys in Lodgings because there's a special interaction that's going to unlock when we go there. Now that we've done both Naru and Asher's quest.
Did you hear? Elam Droll's got caught. Again.
That man. For someone who thinks of himself as a professional, he's quite sloppy.
He still prefers his staff. As if bludgeoning could ever compare to a blade.
Dark Brotherhood, indeed. Seems more like a Banglehood, if you ask me.
I like that we just have Asher and Naru, and they have several different conversations they can have while they sit here playing Tales of Tribute with each other. Like two assassins of the Morag Tong just sitting right in the middle of a public inn just playing a board game. Imagine if somebody came in and tried to rob the place, and they're like, hey, you, where's your belongings? And Naru just looks at Asher's like, do we have a writ on this idiot? And Asher will be like, no, but he's interrupting our game. And then he takes out a piece of paper and writes something on it and hands it to Naru, who pulls out a knife and throws it through the guy's throat. Alright, that's another quest down. Uh-oh, Morgan's about to post a bunch of stuff. Dang, Borga. Okay, so we have a couple places we can go next. We can either go to Selinamora. We can go to a Tavani Tower, which is over here. I haven't actually got marked on the map. Or we can go to a Dwemer ruin of Kamel Z. Which one do you think we should do next, Joe?
In the order listed, I guess.
That's an interesting question. What is the order listed?
The order you just listed to me.
Oh. So Salem Mora it is.
Well, that was a waste of time.
Final file? Please tell me it's the last one. Yes, it is. Hello, Janamba. Far away! Nope.
Well, that was a waste of time.
Neuralil Redoran.
No one goes to Salem Mora anymore, and now I can see why. Getting badgered by priests and buoyant armigers isn't worth seeing the one impressive relic they keep at the shrine. Is that where you're headed?
What shrine? What's going on?
The Shrine of St. Voorhees? Patron saint of House Telvanni? It's the only reason why anyone would go to Salem Mora. I stopped by to see the relic of St. Voorhees, but the High Priest wouldn't even let me get close enough to get a good look.
So what's so special about this relic?
I didn't stay long enough to find out.
Oh, that's
Apparently,
so
it's an honor
dirty!
just to be in its mere presence. Didn't feel like anything
Screw
special
you.
to me. If you're headed that way, maybe you can see what all the fuss is about.
I'll head to the Shrine of Saint Vorus and see what's going on.
Good
You
luck,
might like this
outsider.
quest, Joe.
You're going to need it.
To catch a thief to catch a thief.
Mark my words!
The talisman of St. Voorhees will be mine, and I'm all yours, Relasi, if you can catch me.
The Lark of Rosgard. Hello, Armiger.
The Lark of Rosgard is so smug when he's got the high ground.
He's so smug when he has the high ground.
When he's level with my boot. And his little disappearing act. Let me get my hands on him, and I'll make him disappear.
What's going on here?
That fetching thief has been a thorn in my side for far too long. He's planning to rob the shrine at Salem Mora of the sacred relic of St. Voorhees. I need extra hands if I'm to stop him. Yours could do. Are you looking for work?
What do you need me to do?
Stand in for me at the shrine and the Khajiit caravan nearby. Ask questions. Search for any clues or suspicious activity and assure the High Priest that I have everything under control. Help me, and I'll make sure you're compensated for your time.
I'll help you with your investigation.
High Priest Treelan will be your point of contact at the shrine. He seems insistent the Khajiit are involved in the heist somehow. I have a feeling they're only guilty of poor timing. Meet me back here when you're done.
Who are you and how did you get involved in all of this?
I'm Relasi. I'm a buoyant armiger and I serve the will of the Tribunal. I'm fully aware that I may be more straight-laced than other armigers you've met. No need to remark on it. My standing orders are to apprehend the Lark. That's why I'm here.
Sounds like you and the Lark of Rosgard have history.
History. That's one way to put it. The others in my order seem to delight in romanticizing this cat-and-mouse dynamic the Lark plays up between us. I tell you, there's nothing poetic about persistently playing the fool in someone else's story.
I don't know. He seems pretty interested in you. So he's escaped your capture before or when?
I can detail the charges of his past exploits once we've caught him. Arrogant Fetcher might even tell you himself. See, he has to evade me every time. I only have to capture him once. By Vivek, and with your help, today's going to be the day.
Who is this thief, and why is he so interested in this relic?
The Lark of Rosgard is a slippery, pompous, no-good brigand. He plots his exploits and picks his marks to sow misery, reap notoriety, and make my life difficult.
Make my life difficult.
Very little about the relic. You might ask about it up at the shrine.
You don't know anything about what the Lark is trying to steal?
The Talisman of St. Voorhees is exactly what you'd expect. It's gaudy and ancient, and the High Priest will no doubt be thrilled to enlighten you on its history. Those details don't help me in stopping the Lark, which is my primary concern.
How do you know I'm not working with the Lark?
Please. The Lark of Rosgard enlist an accomplice? That fetching glory hound would never. That fetching wasn't in regards to his looks, by the way. His mask prevents me from making any objective assessment. What else did you want to know?
Sounds like you're a little interested, too. Why do you want me to investigate the caravan and the shrine?
I fear the Lark might leave a note for me at the shrine, if he hasn't already. Aggravating little habit of his. Keep it hidden from the High Priest if you can. He already thinks little of me for how I've handled the Khajiit camp.
How have you handled the Khajiit camp?
In short, I haven't. They're Bandari peddlers, a group of nomads with a bit of an unsavory reputation for theft. High Priest Treelam thinks they have something to do with the intended theft of the Talisman of St. Voorhees. I'm not convinced.
Why not?
A caravan of alleged pickpockets taking blame for the Lark's grand larceny? That's preposterous. And worse, it's unjust. Questioning from an armiger seems unnecessarily hostile. I'm glad to send you in my stead. I've got a plan of my own already in motion. Crucial pieces of it need tending to. But I can tell you more about that when we meet up later. Unless you have more questions, I suggest you be on your way.
So who do these two remind you of, Joe?
When you're done.
So
Always nice to get
my eyes
stocked
on
up.
the screen at the moment.
Oh. Well, they kind of remind me a little bit of Batman and Selina. Except, you know, gender's reversed and things like that.
If you say
All
so.
may bask in the talisman's
I mean,
divine glory.
Batman tries to capture Catwoman, Catwoman steals something.
Please.
Yeah, Batman's not, Batman is a vigilante in his own right, but I mean, Boy and Armigers, they're sent out on, like, long-term missions, and they're practically vigilantes. Because they do whatever it takes to get the job done. Dear Relissi, I'd hate for you to think your hard work here has gone unnoticed. I noticed. Talk soon, your Lark of Rosgard. High Priest?
If you're here to bask in the presence of the talisman of St. Voorhees, I humbly ask that you do so out of arm's reach. If you have any questions about the relic's history, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
I'm here because Rosselli hired me to help her stop the relic from being stolen.
Shh, not so loud. This is a very delicate situation. We need to ensure that what few pilgrims we have aren't scared off by any of this. Relassi hasn't exactly kept us apprised of her plans. What did she send you to do?
She wanted me to search for anything suspicious and assure you she has everything under control.
Of course she did. That's it. I'm sending a priest to shadow her. After Relassi came through to examine the talisman, I've had to stand watch. I've made sure not to let anyone get too close. Especially not any outsiders. It's been exhausting.
Have you had any visitors that weren't Dark Elves?
Aside from you, there was one other, an Elder Khajiit who asked many questions. Without, I might add, the judgmental sneering typical of most outsiders. I cannot recall his name, but he was alone. I've heard the dangerous ones when they travel in groups.
What can you tell me about the history of this shrine?
I'm so glad you asked. This shrine has stood since the dawn of the Second Era in honor of St. Voorhees the Immolent, patron saint of House Telvanni. I am the High Priest, and I oversee the care of our most valued relic, the Talisman of St. Voorhees.
What's the story behind the talisman?
Saint Voorhees believed that we honor our ancestors through the forceful expression of will over others. The gem within the relic exemplifies this belief. It was claimed in conquest during his march across elsewhere.
Saint Valos stole the gem from the Khajiit and elsewhere?
Not stole, claimed in conquest. The shrine is dedicated to exercising our forceful expression of will. We hope to someday unravel the hidden mystical properties held by the gem that eluded even the great Saint Voorhees until his death.
You mean no one has been able to figure out what the gem inside the talisman can do?
Testing one's will on the talisman serves as a humbling reminder that forceful expression of one's will is an unending journey. Salem Mora used to be a haven for aspiring Telvanni, pilgrims eager to test their mettle. But alas, those days are gone.
People don't visit anymore? Why not?
Most come to visit the crypts. Few stay to properly observe the majesty of the relic. I cannot understand why. Admittedly, we have had an influx of visitors since this Lark character announced his intentions to steal the talisman.
The heist is drawing in more visitors?
I'd hate to think that spectacle was the only thing calling pilgrims to the shrine anymore. And if the Lark succeeds, there won't be anything here worth visiting for at all. Please, make sure Relassi stops him, will you?
Okay.
Excuse me. Please step back from the relic.
I was just examining it. I was doing my duty. I just realized I probably already actually have the shield for that. Hold on, there's a way to check. Dang, I did already have that shield. Whoops.
Why are we stopping here, when these dark elves lurk about the edges of our camp?
Oh, Shadea. You worry too much. Surely they mean us no harm.
Old fool. What is it you want? Your nose is too close to my face.
You are rude for somebody who's looks that much like a tiger. Who are you?
This one is called Shadea. She and her mercenaries are here only to protect the caravan for coin. This one dislikes this place and will remain no longer than she must. You have questions? Talk to the elder. This one knows nothing.
Oh, did you see my proposed fall, Joe?
This one is not in the habit of paying tithes to foreign saints.
What do you think of it?
The elder may have gone, but the insisted others stay in the camp. Fine by this one, so long as she gets paid. Yes, a nosy walker came to spy and ask foolish questions. And Shadea was the only one bothered by this. Then again, the elder and his family are Bandari. They are used to being treated like criminals. Anything else, nosy walker?
What do you do exactly?
Stand a bit closer and find out. This one is quick with her blade and does not hesitate to stick it in those who ask for it. Pray that won't be you.
So you're a master.
Bother someone else if you're looking for a job, Walker. This one's band has no room to cut in another share. These peddlers can barely afford us as it is.
The Eye of Bandar. Usirodaro fears this history will be lost forever to the Bandari. He copies it here so his children's children may know it and make their hearts light. Many years ago, dark elves crossed the sands of elsewhere, led by the Fiery One, a mage who had never met a soul he had not wished to conquer. When the Khajiit opened their arms to these ash-faced strangers, those who did not have swords buried in their chests were clapped in irons and shipped away, never to be seen again. This one's little ancestor fled with her caravan into the desert. The Fiery One chased them like the threat of sunrise. Far from food and shelter, they were caught with nowhere to run. The Fiery One searched little ancestor and held a prize, a radish-sized gem bright as 2 moons and smooth from being passed between many hands. "What is this?" the Fiery One asked, but little ancestor bit her tongue and said nothing. "It is a sacred thing to you?" Little ancestor was silent still. "It holds great power, does it not?" And at last little ancestor spoke. "It is powerless outside the hands of the Bandari." The Fiery One waved his warriors to stand down. The gem enticed him. "Covet your miserable lives," he told the Bandari. "Weep as I return victorious to my homeland, where my forceful will shall unravel the hidden powers within this sacred gem." And so the Fiery One left the clan in the desert with their miserable lives. But he did not know that the little ancestor had been given the gem only that day by her clan mother in exchange for a sweet song to lift everyone's spirits. He did not know that she had planned to give it to her cousin in exchange for his pretty mouth harp that she had always coveted. And so the clan did weep, but only in laughter, for the Eye of Bandar was indeed a sacred thing, but truly worthless outside the hands of the Bandari. So the sacred talisman is a fraud, as fitting in the trickster god Bandar.
Luck be with you, Walker. This one is Elier Sodro, Caravan Elder. Our wares and coin are in short supply, but our camp is open to all who may seek to rest and be at ease. What does your heart seek that we may provide?
Has anyone else come through your camp recently?
No. We Bandari are used to scrutiny, but rarely from such a distance. The dark elves in these lands seem colder than most. This is no matter. This one extends his warmest welcomes to you instead.
Did you visit the shrine of St. Velos nearby?
The shrine. Oh, that shrine. It is a place holy to dark elves, yes? Of little interest to us Khajiit. This one is late in his years and does not remember. But he may have accidentally wandered through. Yes, that was probably so.
Have you seen any strange activity around your camp?
Ask Shadea. This one thought it sensible to hire protection while crossing a land rife with slavers, and her sharp eyes miss nothing. And you are welcome to ask around our camp, Walker. Make yourself at home among the Bandari.
What brought you to the Tavani Peninsula?
As Bandari are, travels take us wherever the roads may lead us. The roads happen to lead us here, to this Selen Mora. We sought to stay at the Grand Outpost east of here, but it seems to be in ruins.
Can you tell me more about the Bandari?
Perhaps you have come across our kind in your travels before. No matter. We are traveling merchants, seeking to sell our wares in all corners of the land. This one was born on the road and has traveled with his caravan all of his days.
So everyone in this caravan is your family?
Shadea and her mercenaries are not, though they would be welcome among us if they desired to be. Our clan opens its arms to those who wish to follow the way of the Bandari. Very different from what this one has seen of these Telvanni, yes?
How long do you think you'll stay here?
This one has seen many years pass, and wearies more easily of travel. He thinks just this one more night will do well for his aching bones. You are welcome to join us, Walker. We have food and tents to spare for those who share our company.
See, this is the kind of lore stuff I love about the Elder Scrolls. It's like they have an entire clan of Khajiit that just travel around and spend their lives on the road. It's like it's these little details. Oh my goodness, they have a sealed hopper. Look at this cute little boy. Oh, with his mandibles and his many legs. He's so cute. Who's a good boy? Who's a good sealed hopper?
He's here. The locker's in the crypts. He just slipped past.
Let's see what's going on.
I just saw him. The Lock of Rosgard. He's in the crypts. Just need a moment to catch my breath.
What happened?
I was setting up protective runes in the crypts when some swift priests came bumbling in after me and set them off. We were forced to flee when the spirits of the interred attacked us, and then the Lock of Rosgard managed to slither into the crypts.
Won't he get attacked by the spirits?
He's so slippery, there's no guarantee they'll even slow him down. Quickly, please. If you can help deter the spirits, I'm sure we can corner him and stop this once and for all.
I'm ready to chase down the Lock of Rosgard. Let's go.
Quickly, into the crypts. We can't let him get away. Hurry! The lock can't be too far ahead.
The way that priest tripped all of your protective runes, it's almost like they're working against you, Relassi.
No! Get him!
He just loves to taunt her.
You're going to regret this.
Relassi, who's your friend? Are you ever going to introduce us?
Quit running away, and I'll do more than that.
Makes me think of Full Metal Alchemist, the scene where Al was chasing Edward. No, Edward is chasing Al to the desert. And he's like, "Stop running away! Why? What are you gonna do to me? Why don't you stop running and you'll find out?" Oh no, it's like, what are you gonna do to me? Nothing. Then why are you chasing me?
If only those priests had listened to you, Relassi. You know, it's not too late to switch sides.
Shut up! I'm not switching
It's not too late to switch sides.
I know that fetcher's here somewhere. Let's see if we can draw him out.
And the talisman is mine! You know, if you leave that replica where it is, the High Priest would be none the wiser. It could be our little secret.
No, no! How did he know?
She swapped the original one for a replica and put the original one where she thought he wouldn't find it. Clever.
Nobody saw me. How could the Lark have known? He has the talisman. The real talisman. I made a replica of the original. Switched it out without the High Priest knowing. Then, I hid the real one down here to keep it safe.
Why would you do that?
The High Priest refused my order to take the relic off display. He thinks it's safe, as long as he's watching it. But the Lark could steal stripes off a cat. If I couldn't stop his heist, I thought I could at least trick him into taking a replica.
The Lark saw through your trick. He left this note for you at the shrine.
That arrogant swit! And if that foolish priest hadn't prematurely set off my runes, I'd have clipped the Lark's wings and had him dead to rights. Tell me this isn't over. Tell me you found something useful. Something at the Khajiit camp, maybe.
The elder, Ilsra visited the shrine alone. I also found the story he wrote.
A story. Great.
Yeah, God, he's not going to be able to revive anybody now. What the hell?
Did you read this? His legend says the relic holds this Eye of Bandar. Fetch it all! I need you to get back to the camp quickly, before the High Priest intervenes.
I've heard. I'll head back to the Bandari camp. What do you want me to do there?
Keep an eye on that elder. If he's really involved, he may not know the danger he's put himself in. Believe me, even if only one of the Khajiit is conspiring with the Lark, the High Priest will make sure the entire caravan suffers for it.
What are you going to do while I get... What are you going to do while I go to the camp?
I'll see to High Priest Treelam. I'll assure him that you're in pursuit of our thief and everything is going as planned. If you don't manage to recover the talisman, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
What if I get there and the Khajiit are gone?
You really think they'd have packed up all those tents and left in the time it took us to get through the crypts? Nobody's that fast. Not even the Lark of Rosgard.
Are you going to tell the High Priest about the talisman?
The replica, you mean? I know what the Lark said. But I actually have principles. A code I try to live by. I can downplay the caravan's involvement, but I'd have to tell the truth about my actions. I've caused enough trouble already.
Are you going to tell the High Priest about the story of the Eye of Bandar?
You mean the third-hand account that directly challenges the religious importance of the most sacred relic in the shrine of this peninsula's most influential patron saint? I wasn't planning on it, no.
Why not?
Did you forget who you're talking to? It's not my place to challenge the faith in any of the patron saints of the great houses. And even if it was, do you really think that stubborn High Priest would give the story any credibility? I don't.
Why is stopping the Lark of Rosgard so important to you?
Because I'm an armiger. I should delight in such a grand and poetic experience. But no matter how clever or prepared I am, every chapter against the Lark ends with me playing the fool. This refrain only ends when I beat him for good.
Doesn't sound like you're really cut out to be a buoyant armiger, lady, but...
Go ahead. Meet up with you soon.
Walker, help. Please.
Well, this place got ransacked, but this Silt Hopper is still alive. Yes, he is. With his mandibles and his many legs. Dead bodies everywhere.
They're still alive in the ruins. Walker, please. Save my family.
What happened? Who did this?
Shadea kept pushing to leave. Elir Sudro insisted we stay. And then he told her everything. The relic, the thief, secrets we swore to keep. He spoke on the ice value to the Bandari, but she heard only the promise.
What did she do with the others?
The relic is the price of their lives. Too late for me, Walker. Please, find the Lark. Save the others.
I'll do what I can. Thief, you do not know Shadaya, but the elder... hold on. Thief, you do not know Shadaya, but the elder Elsaradoro told this one that everything about his little scheme and your part in it. Shadaya thinks the talisman will be a better payout than the meager gold her band is getting from these peddlers. If you wish for the elder and his remaining family to live, bring the talisman to the abandoned outpost east of camp. Any tricks, and we will paint this outpost with the blood of the Bandari. Shadaya. How's my Khajiit voice?
Everything went off without a... Wait, where is everyone?
Well, hello, Lark of Rosgard.
What happened here? Did you do this? I knew Relasi was desperate to get me, but I never thought she'd order something like this.
Shadaya did this. She left a ransom note.
Shadaya? Why did he tell her? That old cat is too quick to assume the good in everyone. And perhaps I'm about to make the same mistake, but I'll ask it plainly. Can I count on your help in rescuing my client and his family or not?
You don't get paid unless you rescue them, do you?
You think the Bandari are paying me? They could barely afford to pay their mercenaries. The Lark of Rosgard never leaves a job unfinished. Simple as that.
Why would you agree to steal something without getting paid for it?
Stealing is so inelegant a word for what I do. I prefer to think of it as reacquisition. And the simple answer is that some things are much better earned than bought. Trust, for example. If I give you the talisman, will I have earned yours?
What's your plan, Lark?
When we get to the ruins, I need you to barter with Shadea. Do whatever you can to keep her occupied with the talisman. While you do that, I'll do what I do best. It's a gamble, but I think we can pull it off.
I have some questions first.
I have some answers, but let's not go on too long. As much as I'd welcome seeing Relasi, I think it's best if we keep ahead of her for the moment.
What's the story between you and Relasi?
She was on duty guarding the Library of Vivek when she almost caught me reacquiring a rare first edition on behalf of the original author. She took it very personally, and she's been obsessed with catching me ever since.
Has she ever come close to catching you?
Oh, sure. Within kissing distance every time we've met. The only reason she hasn't yet is luck. Plain and simple. But you'll never see me admitting that to her. Better to leave her thinking I'm at least one step ahead.
Are you always so flirty with her?
She's obsessed with my every movement. But I'm the flirty one. Sure. Oh, I wonder if she'll be jealous when she finds out we've been working together.
She seems pretty insistent that you worked alone.
I keep telling her we should run away together. That's probably what she tells herself to keep from saying yes.
Why did you agree to steal the talisman of St. Veos for Elusitaro?
I met Elir Sudro with a bounty on my head. He could have turned me in for the payout. Instead, he welcomed me into the caravan. And that story of his ancestor tricking St. Voris into coveting the Eye of Bandar always stuck with me.
So you're paying him for a favor?
The Bandari believe that favors should be passed on, not repaid. The Lark of Rosgard was born from that idea. Still, we both always wanted to reclaim the Eye of Bandar. So we planned it, with some trickery of our own.
Why did he decide to bring the caravan all the way here for something so risky?
Leave that to the customs of the Bandari. His family wanted to reclaim the Eye just as much as him. Going alone was never an option. Still, the camp was vital to misdirect investigation, just as the Lark of Rosgard serves to misdirect motive.
Do you keep any of the things you steal?
Reacquire, not steal. And no, the only things I keep are memories and my notorious name.
So basically what he's done is he goes and retakes items on behalf of their actual owners from people that have stolen them, and he takes on the notoriety, so the original holders are free of blame. It's a pretty nice deal, and it makes him a kind of interesting guy. Okay. If you let the crypts before me, how did I reach the campsite before you?
You really don't trust me, do you? If you must know, I was waiting until you ran off to try and catch a moment alone with Relasi. If I had known what happened with Shadea, I would have come straight here.
What did you end up saying to Relasi?
Nothing. All the times we met before, there was this fire in her eyes when she pursued me.
Damn it!
Now it's gone.
I was
think
this
I pushed it too far
close.
this time.
I had him!
I thought making my presence known would have just made things worse. So I left her alone. I'll meet you at the ruins. Remember to keep Shadea talking as long as possible.
Alright, let us confront Shadea. Yeah, this map isn't quite accurate. I don't know what it is, but it's weird.
Walker, come no closer or this one will bleed out the elder. Where is the thief?
Shadea, please. This one is sure that Walker means no harm. We can talk through this, yes?
You should have kept your nose to yourself, Walker. This does not concern you.
I have the talisman of St. Veos.
What? Where did you...
The Lark is rescuing the elder.
Give it to Shadea, now!
What are you planning to do with the talisman?
With so many hands grasping for it, someone must pay well for it, yes? Shadea is losing patience. Toss it over now.
I'll toss it over on the count of 3. 1, 2...
No! Curse you, thief!
So long, Shadea.
No! You will pay for this, Walker. Surrender the talisman or the others die.
Please, Walker. Save this one's family. Give her the talisman if you must.
That's Relasi. Follow my lead and play along.
Oops, I meant to talk to those two.
Scoundrel! Thief! Pariah, curse you and hound your steps for all your days!
Well, that was convincing. Where are the others?
This one is not injured, Walker. Perhaps it is a better fate than he deserves.
What happened back at camp?
This one misplaced his trust, and now pays dearly for it. Those who tried to fight back were killed. Please, Walker, none of this was worth the lives of my family. Save who you can.
I'll follow Shadea and see what I can do.
I came as quickly as I could. As soon as I saw what happened at the camp, I followed the tracks here to the outpost. But Beck, what a terrible thing. If there are any others left alive, we need to save them.
What happened back at the shrine?
I'd have been here sooner, but High Priest Treelan kept badgering me with questions. He hasn't even realized his precious relic was replaced with a fake. When I got there, he'd taken it off the pedestal and was clutching it to his chest.
So you're not worried about finding the original talisman?
While there are lives at stake, I couldn't give a nix. If you can go after them, I'll escort the Elder here safely out of the caverns. Can I still count on you?
I'll make sure the rest of the Bandari escape safely.
Let's go.
You weren't keeping score, were you? Me neither.
You are a true friend to the Bandari.
You will not give the talisman willingly? Face Shadea's blade and suffer.
Imagine that to this day, when people, the dragon that owns Hazaron is listening to him scream from inside the vault. Bathe me in the blood of the unborn. You cowards! I have bathed in the blood of a god.
This one shall pay your favor forward.
I was starting to get worried. The others just passed me. They're safe. Now, all that remains is to decide the fate of the Talisman of St. Voorhees.
What if Rishi tells the High Priest about you working for the Bandari?
She wouldn't. The only person Relasi wants to suffer for this crime is me. And she still needs to catch me. Besides, if the High Priest knew about her little stunt with the replica talisman, she'd be finished. We've got that we can hold over her.
What if she tells the High Priest about the truth about the replica herself?
Way ahead of you. While you were saving the hostages, I doubled back and managed to steal Relasi's replica off the High Priest personally. Serves him right for not listening to my favorite armiger in the first place.
Why did you do that?
So I could give it to you. Will you honor the patron saint of House Telvanni by restoring his shrine's most beloved spoil of war? Or will you don the mask of the pariah and deliver them the replica? The choice is now yours.
You're trusting me to make this decision?
For everyone involved to keep their desired reputations, there's no one else I can trust with this decision. It has to be you. I mean, I know what I'd do. But it's in your hands now.
Explain this choice to me.
As far as Relasi knows, you only have the original talisman. If you give the original to Elior Sudro and the replica to Relasi, she'll have to pretend it's the real thing. Or get herself in a whole world of trouble by admitting how she lost it.
And if I chose to give Relasi the original?
Then you'll have honored the tribunal and saved the shrine of St. Voorhees from a fate of worshipping a worthless trinket with no real mystical properties for time immemorial. Or perhaps they'd be doing that either way. Who can say?
So you don't feel any sympathy for the followers of St. Varlos?
What they don't know won't hurt them. The Eye of Bandar has been lost for generations. And yet the Bandari kept its legend alive through stories. Is the faith in St. Voorhees so fragile that the loss of one relic would send it crumbling?
What exactly is the significance of the Eye of Bandar anyway?
That question, my friend, would be best asked of Elior Sudro. Though if you've heard the tale of his little ancestor, you may have some understanding of it already.
Why are you trying to help out Relasi?
Relasi has made things hard for herself, remaining a decent person in her line of work. Even her making that replica was done with the best of intentions. Chasing someone for so long with little to no headway can't be easy. She deserves a win.
Are you turning yourself in?
When we've just started having fun? No, no. The Lark's got plenty of work to do, believe me. And if I wind up playing the fool in Relasi's story more often, I think that's something I can live with.
She seems pretty intent on catching you, not just playing the fool.
Relassi follows a code, as did St. Voorhees, as do the Bandari. As I do, and I'm sure you do too. Our codes clash and harmonize. Most of the time, they pass in quiet opposition. I'm holding out hope that Relassi and I will harmonize again someday.
Will filling this heist ruin your reputation?
No, no. See, the important thing here is that Relassi didn't catch me. In fact, you looking like you caught me works in my favor. Trust me, she needs the encouragement. It'll keep her from giving up.
Why is that a good thing for you?
My reputation wouldn't be half of what it is today without Relassi making me notorious. That's a valuable thing to have in a long-term adversary. And she keeps me on my toes. That's useful. Even if I'd much rather she have me on my back.
Womp womp womp. Yeah, he's got a thing for her.
Stranger. And send my fondest farewells to Relassi, will you?
Alright, we have a choice. We can either deliver the talisman to Relassi, or we can give the real talisman to Elucidaro. What do you think we should do, Joe?
I have no idea what's going on. I cannot make a decision. I'm too busy doing this.
You could craft something nice with that.
Okay.
Sorry, I cannot concentrate on it. This fight is just so much bullshit.
The Walker has returned.
Treasure.
1,000
Must be a lucky
blessings
day.
to you, savior of the Bandari. This one mourns those lost when Shadea's greed overtook her. But we would have lost so much more if it were not for you, Walker. This one knows not how to express his thanks. The buoyant armiger.
What the hell was that?
She failed to catch our tricky friend, yes?
The Lock of Rosgard is gone. I have the talisman of St. Varius.
Ah, so the fate of the Eye of Bandar falls to you. Whichever way you choose, Walker. This one asks only that you do not use what you learned today about the Eye to challenge the faith of those who serve at this shrine.
I have some questions about the Eye of Bandar.
This one grew up hearing the story of his little ancestor, sparing the life of her caravan by tricking the fiery one into his obsession with the Eye. Now, this one followed his own obsession and lost many. Ask what you will. This one will answer.
Okay, so what is the real significance of the Eye to the Bandari?
Ah, by all appearances, it is a simple gem trapped within a gilded talisman, yes? The Eye of Bandar is a relic traded between clans of Bandari. The holder may ask for any item, any favor within means, and the receiver must provide.
It really is worthless outside the hands of the Bandari?
Should you break it free from the talisman, you would see. It is moonstone, worth very little coin, yes? And yet, it is rubbed smooth and small from passing between the hands of my people. A symbol of indulgence and trading in good faith.
Why don't you want the High Priest to know the truth about the talisman?
You mean that the Eye of Bandar inside the relic has no hidden magic at all? By the code of the Bandari, such words would be unwelcome in the ears of those who follow St. Voorhees. They would cause harm, and so we discourage them.
Do you think the followers of St. Varus would do the same for you?
This one cannot say, Walker. This one only has the code of the Bandari to indulge the beliefs of others. Besides, to wield the truth in such a way would ruin the most fragrant mischief of the story of the little ancestor, yes?
Right. I'm giving you the real talisman to restore the Eye of Bandari.
Walker, this one is at a loss for words. Our caravan will pay forward your generosity 1,000 times, but What will become of the shrine of St. Voorhees?
I'll give them the replica talisman that Reewish made. They won't realize the difference.
Very good, Walker. Very good. You are clever as the pariah, Walker. This one wishes you luck and safe travels in every endeavor. May our roads meet again, friend of the Bandari.
Good, you're back. Just as we planned. The Lark got away, but the remaining Khajiit are safe, right? Then it's a victory in my book. Did you recover anything else for me?
This is for you.
I recognize my handiwork. I'll be a hero returning this to the shrine. It's a false victory, but no one needs to know that besides us. Take your payment. If we meet again, I hope it will be after I've taken the upper hand on the Lark of Rosgard. What happened today was a setback, but the knowledge is my burden to bear. No one needs to learn from it except me. I'll make it right by capturing the Lark of Rosgard next time. I swear it.
What will you do now?
I'll send a report to my superiors. I'll remain in Salem Mora for a few days, just to make sure it's safe. And then I'll likely be back on the trail of the Lark of Rosgard.
How did you manage to make such a convincing replica of the talisman?
Oh, I've always had an eye for that sort of thing. The sacred gem looked enough like moonstone that I made it work in a pinch. A little bit of weathering, using some basic spells, and that's it. Sometimes I wonder if I got in the wrong line of work.
You did. You should have definitely teamed up with the Lark. Maybe one day. And how did you manage to replicate the original with the replica without the... Or to replace the original with the replica without the High Priest noticing?
It's just being furtive and aware of your surroundings. I suppose I have some sort of intuition I picked up from my work on... You know what? I'm going to stop this line of questioning right here.
What did I say?
No. I get enough teasing about how good a thief I'd be from the Lark of Rosgard. I don't need it from you two. I'll run along before I decide to change my mind about not taking anyone into custody for this case.
Fine. Alright, so that's another quest down. So we got a delve and we got a main quest area completed. We've got 15 minutes left in the stream. Guess we'd probably have time for another quest.
This one and his kin shall return to elsewhere on light feet, and your name in our stories. The eye of Bandar glints with mischief. This one imagines it too is ready to see far away places.
What will you and your family do now that you have the Eye of Bandar?
We shall mourn those we lost, and leave the lands of the Telvanni. We hope to come across another caravan of Bandari soon and trade for supplies, as we have run rather low.
Will you hold on to the eye for now, or do you plan to pass it on to another?
This one does not plan to hold it for long. Perhaps we will trade for supplies, or perhaps we will trade it for a simple song. But he is blessed to see the eye return to his people in his lifetime. Luck be with you always, Walker.
A whole stack? Very nice.
Alright. Let's go do another delve. That should fill up the time. good bit of time today was eaten up by a Xander's quest in the public dungeon. Actually, technically, we got 2 delves done. We got the public dungeon. We got 2 delves, and I'm going for a 3rd. So that'll be half the delves done. We've completed a couple of other side quests, in addition to a major area quest. But I mean, we got some progress in today.
Where are all the workers? You there. Do you work here? As a notary
Right,
for the Quama Consortium of Necrom, I demand that you explain why production has
What's wrong?
halted. Are you aware of the irreparable harm this is inflicting on our image?
No, I don't work at this mine.
The Consortium will be none too pleased. Apologies, Traveler. I came on a little strong there. I'm an auditor sent to inspect Anka Egg Mine. It's been a few days since their last shipment, and the higher-ups are growing restless.
They sent you to investigate all by yourself.
Please, this isn't the first workers' strike I've negotiated. Wait, you don't think something dangerous happened here, do you? Well, I have expense funds for this assignment. Might I hire you as a bodyguard while I perform my audit?
I can accompany you while you investigate the mine.
I'm required to inform you that as a contractor for the Quama Consortium, you are held to the highest standards of conduct. But on a personal note, thank you. Now, we'll need to inspect the pens, speak with the Overseer, and take note of the Queen.
Tell me more about the details of the audit.
It's routine, really. Whenever the Consortium believes a mine is operating below standards, they send along an auditor to run an inspection. This usually entails the Overseer providing a comprehensive tour of the Quama pens and the mine's queen.
Are you familiar with the mine's overseer?
Olfingar. I've met him once before, back when the mine was first opened. Nord fellow, tough as rocks and sweet as salt, but a hard worker. You want that in an Overseer. To be honest, I'm surprised he's late. It's definitely out of the ordinary.
Do you think something's gone wrong?
I haven't the faintest idea. I was only sent along to conduct an audit, though the Consortium did seem rather on edge. They said I should expect to hear all sorts of excuses, from cave-ins to cultists. Laughable, I know, but it's part of the job.
Do you think the miners are making excuses for lack of productivity?
I shouldn't jump to conclusions, especially when I haven't had the chance to assess anything yet. But yes, my employers certainly seem to think so. After all, not every worker keeps their company's best interests in mind.
Did you mention a Quama queen?
Oh yes, a healthy Quama queen is as good as gold around here. Their eggs are a staple food for dark elves. The Consortium outfits these mines with the best tools and workers money can buy.
And what is the Consortium?
The Quama Consortium of Necrom oversees the care and husbandry of egg mines on the peninsula. Their export of eggs is second to none, but even one mine operating below expectations can lead to grumbles among shareholders.
And that's where you come in?
Myself and others like me, yes. Auditors, adjusters, if you will. We assess the egg mines to ensure they continue to meet the Consortium's production standards. Though that's certainly not to say I'm irreplaceable.
You're worried you might get fired?
Anka Egg is a particularly important mine. It may seem dramatic, but I'm convinced any failure here will result in my dismissal. It isn't easy for an outsider like myself to be accepted into a Telvanni business, so yes, I'm a bit worried.
Well, to be fair, this mine is like literally right outside Necrom, the largest city in the area, so it's kind of important that their Quama egg mine is up and running productively, otherwise people could starve to death. You know, in a city of the dead, I mean, that's pretty important not to starve to death, because it's just going to have to bury you with everybody else.
I expected more activity in the mine, but...
the Quama are definitely riled up.
Stay ready. Never know what else might be headed our way.
And we have a dead foreman.
Omessa, is she... Oh, no.
The overseer.
Someone's alive? Let's hurry.
Now you are a welcome sight. Please tell me the way out of here is clear. We were starting to lose any hope of escape.
I'm accompanying Cyndiath, an auditor sent by the consortium. Who are you?
Sure as bones. I ask for aid and they send an auditor. At this rate, there won't be a mine left to audit. I'm Overseer Ulfengar. The egg tenders behind me are Malsa and Barlock. We barely managed to escape the Quama, let alone those damned cultists.
Wait, did you say cultist?
Yes, I sent word days ago asking for more guards. We first saw them sneaking around the mine, but now they've broken in somewhere near the hatchery. They've whipped the Quama into a frenzy, and I'm worried they're trying to poison the clutch.
Are there any other survivors?
Fomessa went looking for survivors down the southern ramp. An egg tender Gain left to scout the southeastern passageways for a way out. I ended up here with Malsa and Barlock. If there are others alive out there, you'd know better than me.
Fomisa is dead. We'll look for Gain.
Oh, Fomessa. She was hard to steal, and twice as sharp. If she didn't make it, that doesn't bode well for the rest of us. Can you find Gain? He made his
You think the
way
cultists
to
are trying to poison the clutch?
One of the egg hands, Gain, noticed young Quama returning to their pens with green slime. A few days later, we started spotting cultists skulking about. What better way to poison a clutch than to taint the young ones? But there has to be...
Why do you say that?
There are plenty other mines across the peninsula. Killing this brood would only be an inconvenience to the consortium. But yet the cultists are here in full force. I'm certain there must be more to their plan, but I have to look out for the miners.
Okay. No, Gain is dead too.
From my notes, I think this was Gain, one of the chief egg hens.
I'm back.
Hey, welcome back. We are deep in a Quama mine trying to deal with the situation here. The foreman sent a request for help because all the Quama had gone into a rage. Instead of sending guards, they sent an auditor to make sure the mine was at max productivity. Spoiler alert, if the Quama are in a rage and killing the workers, it's not going to be operating at max capacity. You seem to not be meaning your Quama, or your quarters. I'm literally dying. I'm sorry, but we're going to need you to work faster. My arm is on the other side of the room. I'm sorry, but that's no excuse for laziness. Sounds like a barbarian thing, ripping the arm off an enemy and hitting them upside the head with it, or ripping off their leg and hitting them upside the head with it. I mean, Sophia does it, but Sophia does it because she has a prosthetic leg, and she can just take it right off and smack somebody with it.
I thought picture she's gonna just, when she gets her real leg back, she's just gonna still do it anyway, and then once it all the adrenaline wears off, she just goes, "Oh God, why did I do that?"
No, she's not that stupid. Intelligence is not her dump stat. Dexterity is.
Intelligence isn't my dump stat, and I do stupid things all the time.
The afflicted Dicor has proven most effective. It has made sure
There's a username for somebody. Intelligence is my dump stat.
Gods, all this destruction, all this suffering. Why are they doing
Actually,
this?
there's a build. There is an intelligence dump build in Fallout 4. It focuses on high luck to make up for your low intelligence. Because intelligence increases how much hit points you have, but there's a feat that if you have the feat, it makes up for the experience point differentiation, basically. And of course, then you can have like a really high luck score and get critical hits all day long. The only downside is you lose access to some of the better science perks. Or intelligence perks.
Green eye. Could that be the source of this frenzy?
Alright, we're done. It's time to leave the mine.
Hive. That's everything. Let's head outside. The Overseer and the others should have made it out by now. Overseer, I'm glad you all made it out. With your expertise in the Queen's pheromone gland, we should be able to reopen the mine in...
Reopen the mine? After the Consortium left us to die? To Sovereign God with this mine. You've got the Queen's gland, re-queen the mine yourself. We're leaving.
Ulfingar, please reconsider. Ulfingar? Friend, can you please talk to the Overseer? The people of Necrom will starve without this mine.
If Sindiath had wandered in here alone and gotten herself killed, how long before the Consortium sent another to find us? A day? A week? We're lucky someone of your mettle was nearby. You have
If you intend to leave Syndilopolis without your help, this mine will fail.
It failed the moment those Consortium hawkers chose to ignore my letters. Does Sindiath really think a Queen's gland and some elbow grease will be enough to put that place to rights? You saw what those cultists were doing.
The Consortium will try to reopen it. Do you trust them to do it safely without your oversight?
So it's my burden then. Shore's bones. Those bastards are just greedy enough to risk it, aren't they? With a fresh Queen's gland. Ah! No, we'd need an army of egg hands, alchemists, a staffed garrison. The Consortium would never agree to it.
Alright, so we have a choice. We can either give him the gland and tell him to set his demands. The Consortium will see reason, or We can say, you're right to distrust the consortium. I'll give the gland to Sindilth and tell her you're done.
Well, can we trust the consortium?
They don't have a choice. Necrom is literally right next door. Like, this is their main source of food. If the consortium doesn't get the mine up and running, everybody's going to starve.
So the alternative is bad?
Yes.
So let's not do the bad.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. Let me see this gland. And tell Sindilth we'll stay on if the consortium provides all the staff and resources I need. The moment they hedge, I'm leaving. And taking Malsa and Barlock with me. Necrom be damned.
That sounded like it went well. Please tell me you have some good news. I really need something to soften the blow of this report to my superiors at the consortium.
Olvengar says they'll stay, but only the consortium meets its demands and cleans the mine.
Trust me, I'll make sure the consortium does what is right. To send an auditor in place of soldiers? Unbelievable. The safety of the people of Necrom is my highest priority. Take my thanks, and everything that I owe you.
Alright.
Good. You can start by making sure the families of those lost in the mine are properly taken care of.
Of course. Honoring those lost is the first step towards making things right. The first of many.
Should keep you on your toes a while.
Alright, well, that is going to be all for today, everyone. We have finished several more quests and progressed further in the Necrom storyline. Next week, we'll get back into things, and we'll do more of the main quests. We'll do Kids Gazelle. We'll do the Tavani Tower that's somewhere over in this area. And then we'll hop over to Apocrypha, and we'll do the Rectory Corpia, Cartograph of the Romance, and other locations like that. And once we are caught up with all the different locations in the dells, it'll be time to do the main quest. So I'll see you next week as we resume more of the Elder Scrolls Online's Reewish, the Mighty Battle Lizard. Thank you, and goodbye, everyone.
Ta-ta!